Well, you know, I did a couple of comedy sex supplements for you. I'm always interested in that. I've always been interested in that side of things, and found it peculiar that we don't examine it. You know?
Yes. I mean, the glib answer there is, well, it's because we're British. But it is going to be, should we say, problematic in many circles that may not be your own gaming group. And I don't just mean you, I mean everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, on that side, I would be very unlikely to touch on anything of a sexual nature around the gaming table. Other groups are going to be far more accepting of it. And this is the problem with the resistance to the session zeros, the safety zones, trigger warnings, and what have you. They don't really consume much of your time, and you might be really unaware of somebody in your group who could be seriously affected by that. It's just nice to do it. It's going to take you 2 minutes.
Well, I'm going to push back slightly on that.
Excellent.
So session zero just used to mean getting together, deciding what your group concept was, maybe making your characters up together. Some systems want you to interweave your character backgrounds and so on, something like Fate or Hot War, or there's a bunch of them to do it. So that's what that used to mean. Now it seems to have taken on the connotation of a sort of almost a group therapy session, or a struggle session, where you're now kind of dictating which way the story is going to go, what elements can and can't be included. That's too far for me. That's too much.
I can understand that. I don't think things are perfect. I think they will evolve. People have recognized the problem, and they're trying new ways to get around it. I mean, I can see the issue. I've seen some examples where somebody raises a card or something halfway through a game. I don't have to explain anything. I just don't want that bit. And I can see that. I can see some issues with that in terms of actually running a game, which is why it's a good idea to do things right at the start, so everyone's on the same track. It doesn't take long. It's I think probably a better example to get the point across is what they call trigger warnings on film and television. Just one quick line that flashes up: this film contains scenes of da-da-da-da, and then boom, you can make a decision. Do you know what? I am out of here. I don't want to go anywhere near that stuff. And to save the emotional pain and heartache it could very seriously cause, it doesn't require any effort. Again, just the we don't really have a political philosophy at Mongoose, but the underlying tone is try not to be a twat. I mean, just be nice to people. It doesn't take much.
Yeah. Well, see, again, this is actually a really interesting topic, so I think we will get into it for a little bit longer. Don't be a twat. That would include interrupting the game for the other 3 to 5 players and the games master at the table.
3 to 5 players are having they're having a good game. The one person might well be going through some very serious emotional trauma from events that might not have happened all that long ago, and they're just there to sit down and have a decent game. I can see the problems with that. I'm not saying the solutions around at the moment are perfect, but let's try stuff. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the creative process right there.
Well, as a creator and a games master, I find it the idea disrespectful. So what we used to do at conventions, we'd say like 18 plus mature themes. That would be our trigger warning on the sign up sheet. and that would be sufficient. And I think that's fine. I think slightly more detailed trigger warnings are also fine, but the kind of things that people seem to be asking for or demanding gets into the realm of spoilers almost for the plot.
Here's what I'll say. Don't sweat it. When you're running a game, be nice to people saying, right, it's going to have X, Y, and Z. I don't really want to do the whole card thing, or however they want to do it. And then they can make the decision, yes, I'll stay, or this might not be for me. Just be upfront with people. Some groups are going to work on a more interactive system very, very well. They'll be able to handle it better than you and I could. Good. Let's not panic about those groups existing. Other groups are saying, right, this is a real hardcore manly men at the height of their manliness type of game. Fine. Great.
Yeah.
Everywhere. One of the things you realize as a games producer, especially with something like as widespread as Paranoia or Traveller, every single group in the world plays these games differently. So you've got to try and create a rule book that can cover at least most of those. But they're all going to approach these games differently. They're all going to have different levels of action, emotional content. They can all coexist.
Yeah.
Not to be a twat. It's that simple.
Yeah. It's just it feels like it's all kind of one way at the moment. Like a lot of conventions.
Sure, the pendulum will swing too far one way. It will come to rest. This always happens. Just don't get, for God's sake, don't get angry about it at the moment. It's going to end up fine.
Well, if there was more mutual respect, I think it would go better. But it's the imposition of these rules. And also, I'm not entirely sure who they're for, right? Because if you're with your regular group, you know each other. So you don't really need these things. And if you're at a convention, I mean, you say it takes 5-10 minutes. It doesn't. It takes a long time. And you've only got a 3 or 4 hour slot. And one last thing. I have never been comfortable with revealing the things that upset me to strangers.
Yeah.
Right. That's the other thing.
Yeah. As I say, it's likely not perfect at the moment. These are things that I don't really court myself, because the games I run tend not to go into the ickier side of things. Some groups will. Let's just try a few different methods. Some will work, some won't. Some groups will use all of them. Others won't want to go near them. That's fine. That's fine. We can all get on, Jim.
I wish. That's what I want. But I also want the discussion, because I find it interesting. Like, I find your position quite reasonable, and where we need to get to, that kind of mutual respect. You do it your way, I'll do it mine. Maybe that's just the anarchist in me coming out. I don't know.